interesting thing he told me was, catch this, Meqasa keeps old apartments, old but good looking apartments especially, or affordable apartments in prime areas on the website, because how they make their money is crackers. Anyone, did you guys try the crackers and jam I told you about? You are missing out. Hello guys, if you watched the previous video, I did say that I was immediately going to film the moving out process, because somebody asked me on Instagram when they first caught wind of the fact that I had moved just by my environment. The moving process was very interesting. The last time I went through a process like this, that was with my parents. I was very young, and even then I knew how hectic it could be, right? But I don't think this trip was as hectic as I've seen other people go through. We moved a number of times, but one of them was a renting process. Definitely impacted and influenced the factors that I took into consideration when I was looking for a place. But those things come naturally to anybody anyway. So basically this is how the video is going to go. First, we're going to chat about why I wanted to move, how I started the process, how I found this place in particular, the things that I didn't expect. Some of them I kind of expected it, but it still took me by surprise. Funny enough, who I saw, who I spoke with, what I escaped, and what I hated about the process. I'm not going to tell you where I am, how much I paid. I'll tell you about my first night here, and then maybe the first few things I got when I first came here. I like these kind of videos because the ones I find online are from people that are based in the US or in the West. I rarely see it for African countries, in Ghana in particular. YouTube creators in Ghana that make that kind of content. But I've also seen there's this girl, I forget her name, but I'm going to put it up here on the screen. When she moved was around the time that I had just found this place, so it was interesting to also watch her videos. I've forgotten her name, but she's a cute girl. I'm into men. I'm not into women, by the way. Just okay. Why did I want to move? Because I'm grown. Okay, I wanted my space. I wanted a little bit of privacy. I wanted a bit of listen, if you're a content creator, especially in Ghana, in an African home, I don't know about some of these other people, but I can speak for myself. You will not get your peace of mind to film in peace. Can you quickly come and do this? And that quickly come and do this can quickly turn into the whole day. They miss me. I miss them too, but I like my space. The distance, with respect to the distance, so I needed to be close to school. It wasn't practical for my pocket. Fuel prices were increasing every day. It was just a lot. So being closer to school was a good idea. So I didn't move to school. I was on campus for a while, for a good month, and then they postponed the exams. So I had to either pay that exorbitant amount of money that I was paying for a room on campus, or I find a place that wouldn't cost as much as a whole month there, but I could also have for about the first few years after school. Also, when it came to going for events, it's not like I have that many events to attend, but when it came to connecting with people outside, like social settings, I didn't have one because I was always in a hurry to get home, or when I get home, I'm stuck. I just needed to be able to spend time by myself, connect with people, go for events. Talking of events, I am going for a very important launch. So another creator of ours, her name on social media is This Is Mansa. She's been launching products for a while now, but this one is like an actual cleanser for the face, so it's exciting to see something like that. But I digress, we'll talk about that soon. Now, how did I start the process? So before I actually started physically with the process of moving, I spoke to friends and asked for their agent's number. So one person gave me their agent's number, and another person told me he would speak to his agent. Spoke to the guy, he didn't have anything in the areas that I was looking, so I went nowhere. Then my other friend, who lived in an area that I would have loved to have gotten a place, gave me her agent's number. So I called him, and then he sent somebody over to meet me one of the days. I had no idea, he didn't tell me beforehand, but I was supposed to pay some sort of processing fee while we went on errands. So that was about 80 cedis at the time, 70 or 80, can't remember, but it was one of them. But let's just say 80 cedis. So I had to pay that amount of money. I didn't know. When we were going on rounds, I had to pay the taxi driver for all the rounds. That I also did not know or expect. So we went to see the first apartment, and what is it with landlords and horrendous tiles? Like, the least said the better. It was terrible, but I just didn't want to seem condescending, and I didn't also want to come off as somebody that was, I didn't want them to cheat me, to think that, oh, she has a big budget, so let's just find a place and then raise the prices, etc, etc. So we looked at a number of places, and I asked them, so if this is this much, do you have something that is a little bit more and a little bit to my taste. And everywhere we went, it just wasn't it. There was one though that the location was perfect for me. It was perfect. It was smack in the middle of town, 15 minutes journey from work where I'm doing my internship now, maybe 30 minutes to school, a little more, but I mean, I'm not going to go to school forever. That was the perfect place. It was central to everywhere. But I did not feel safe once we went there, and I know it's not a place I'm going to live forever. I don't need the fanciest thing, but let it be decent or presentable. I wouldn't have minded because all the walls were white like this place, so I could have worked with it, but there was no privacy. Where there was supposed to be a bedroom, that window, beautiful large window, it was directly in front of somebody strapped on. You could even hear a conversation that was going on in, I don't know whether it was a boys' quarters or it was somebody's bedroom. It looked like it was a little bit detached from the building itself, but there was somebody there. They were having a conversation and it was so loud. There were some boys on the compound. It was just a lot. I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel like I'll get the privacy I was looking for. But it was a 2-bedroom with a kitchen and a hall, and the location was very good, but I didn't feel safe there, so bounced. Then I went on to Meqasa. So Meqasa is an online service or a website where they showcase available property for sale and for rent, for lease, blah blah blah, if you want to sell as well. So I went onto that platform and I saw some places that were close to where school was. One looked good and I was happy about it, so I called the agent. Now I was expecting that I'll pay some money, but I didn't know how much I was gonna pay. I met this guy same day I called him, and then he told me that the particular apartment I'm looking for has actually been gone for over a year now, about 2 years now. But the interesting thing he told me was, catch this, Meqasa keeps old apartments, old but good looking apartments especially, or affordable apartments in prime areas on the website, because how they make their money is when there is more traffic and people keep looking. So they don't update those ones, then you keep looking and looking and looking. So they just keep you there. Instead of removing the listings that have already been taken, they just leave it there and they don't tell you that it's been taken or it's not been taken. It was a struggle. I said, what about this one? He said it's taken. It was taken about 6 months ago. What about this one? It was taken about a year ago, 2 years ago. I'm like, bummer. But he said he had certain properties in the area, so let's go check it. I had a car. I did not pay for transportation. There was a place that was okay, it was nice, it was brand new, and you had to park outside. It just was screaming no to me, but it was a beautiful apartment. I had to let it go. We went to see another one. It was farther. It was even farther than I thought. If I had to go there, I would have gone back home. I didn't take that either. At the end of the day, he also took 100 cedis from me, and he literally used it to pay for fuel. And he was like, that was supposed to be like the inspection fee where we go on rounds to see blah blah blah, but he just used it to buy fuel. And he would love to hear from me soon. Obviously, he didn't hear from me again. Then that weekend, the same weekend, so at this point I'd moved to school, so I was on campus, right? My friends who used to live in this area, they came to visit, and then they saw this place, this apartment being built, and were like, oh, that's really cool, let's enter, take pictures and videos and find out how much, what's going on. So they spoke to the person there who allowed them to take a look around. They took a video for me. The landlord said he wasn't working with any agent, so if we needed anything, you should speak to him directly. Cool, they got the number for me. I came around, I found the place, I came around, and it was just so tiny. I'm like, oh, the place is so nice, but it's so tiny. But I was in love because, first of all, the tiles weren't orange. I mean, you can see they are great. Tiles weren't orange, they weren't checkered, no weird patterns, everything was done. It was just really small, but it was okay. It works, and it was better than anything else I've seen. There's a market in this area, there's a mall close to this area, there's a hospital, there are several pharmacies in the area, it's close to school, it's close to the main road. So I'm like, you know what, this checks off a lot of things on my list. The location, I wish it was closer to town, but it's better than where I'm coming from. The aesthetic of the place, the amenities, and it was in my budget. So I said, okay, cool, I can make a down payment for a year for this place, or even 6 months. So I called the landlord, and he says he's taking 2 years advance. I did not see that coming. That puts a dent in my pocket. That's for the next 2 years. It's mine, and I do not have to think about rent for the next 2 years. But they weren't done with the place though, and I wanted to move in first week of May. No, June. It's June I came here actually. The bathroom looked good, and that is one very important thing for me. All the places that we went to, apart from the Meqasa guy, the bathrooms, they were just terrible. If the bathroom was fine, I would have managed, but the bathrooms were just so terrible, bad. But this is brand new and it looks good, and everything is there. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I come back after 2 weeks. I'd already made a down payment, but not everything. After I come back after 2 weeks and it's almost done, the walls are painted, the place looks nice, they have installed all the hardware in the bathroom. I didn't know there was going to be an AC. There was an AC, there was a heater. Everything just looked so nice, and I just felt like it was worth the money because it was the maximum of my budget. It wasn't like middle or minimum, it was the maximum, and I was in shambles, but I immediately felt like it was worth it, even though it was small. And I took the unit that had the most windows, obviously, because I do not have artificial lights yet, and I needed lights for my content creation. So another thing I wasn't expecting, or let me not say wasn't expecting, but another thing I wasn't prepared for, because I knew from watching videos of, you know, people moving out in other places, not Ghana, like I said, from people moving out from other places. That's my mommy. Hello, mommy. Bye bye. Hold on, guys, while I get an Uber, a taxi for her to come. I can't wait to see her. I miss her so much. I saw her last weekend, but I went home. And she's coming to my face today. Do you guys see this, the marks on my face? It wasn't there a moment ago. I have something called dermatographia urticaria. In another video, if you guys are interested, I would want to do a little bit more research on it and talk about it. But when I itch and I scratch, or I try to soothe it and I use a sharp or pointy object to, you know, try and soothe it or scratch, it leaves a trail wherever I scratch. So I accidentally scratched my face and then this happened. But you would notice as the video goes on that it fades away, but it's very uncomfortable and it's very annoying. But anyway, where was I? So another thing I wasn't expecting was the security deposit. It's not that I wasn't expecting it, I was a little surprised because I hadn't heard a lot of people rent in Ghana and pay a security deposit, but I don't have that many close friends that are renting, so that wasn't something that I considered in my finances and in my budget. But I was supposed to, when I came, is when they told me that I needed to pay a security deposit and for water and cleaning of the facility, so waste and all of that. And honestly, I've not had an issue once. I've always had water flowing, so I felt like it was money well spent. And with the security deposit, if I don't mess up the place, I get it back. So I'm not mad at it, but I just wasn't expecting it. That was money I was going to use to buy my mattress at the time. When it comes to my first night, the things that I needed, blah blah blah, I think we should do that in an entirely different video because this video is going to take too long. And also I need to prepare for my mom and I need to prepare for the launch, and maybe or maybe not I would film those, you never know. So there's a lot to do, and let's grow. We are trying to make it to 500 subscribers so that we can use the community tab, and I'll see you in the next one.